Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to St. Lucians for YLAI, our live Q&A. My name is Michelle Samuel. I am your host and moderator for today's YLAI Alumna, and I'm also the founder of Slugterra, which is the host of this program for today. So, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, and those of you who are maybe listening to us, if you can't see, thank you very much for joining us. So the YLAI program that we're going to be talking about today is open every single year since 2016 to emerging leaders from various walks of life in Latin America, the Caribbean, and Canada. And today we're going to be talking to three young ladies about the YLAI experience and also talking about an upcoming fellowship that is slated for next month. Now, of course, the platform that we're streaming on are YouTube, Slugterra, Facebook, Slugterra, and also Instagram as well. Please ensure that you subscribe, that you share the live, and also use the hashtags YLAI 2024 as well as hashtag St. Lucians for YLAI when sharing. And this discussion today is going to be taken in three parts. We're going to be talking to one alumna who is from last year's fellowship. Then after that, we're going to be talking to two fellows who are going to be traveling to take part in the fellowship for this year. And we have a third segment where we're going to be talking about an upcoming initiative that is for youth secondary school students that I know would definitely interest a lot of parents and educators as well as students alike. It is an opportunity for young emerging leaders in secondary school to participate in a fully funded fellowship that will take place this year. Now, without further ado, I would just like to briefly introduce our speakers for Joseph. Sharine Joseph is a highly accomplished social media consultant, Instagram training expert, and esteemed founder of Blue Media Marketing. I'm sure you'd have heard that company before if you've been on social media, particularly Instagram. Sharine's expertise, and that's over 7 years of marketing and experience, is underscored by her extensive certifications in social media marketing, digital marketing, marketing strategies, fundamentals of social media marketing, foundations of digital marketing and e-commerce, and digital and creative entrepreneurship. These credentials not only showcase her comprehensive knowledge, but also highlight her commitment to staying ahead of the curve in the ever-evolving digital landscape. Now, Sharine was awarded the 2021 Startup Collaborator of the Year Award for her outstanding collaborations with small businesses in St. Lucia. Very accomplished young woman. So Sharine's outstanding accomplishments, expertise in social media marketing, and commitment to empowering businesses have firmly positioned her as a respected leader in her field. And through her agency, Blue Media Marketing, she continues to help businesses unlock their full potential in the digital landscape while leaving a lasting impact on the industry and the community which it serves. And that was a brief bio on our first speaker for today, Miss Sharine Joseph. And she'll be the very first person that we will be speaking to this afternoon. So I'm looking forward to her having a chit chat with us and sharing about her last year's experience in the fellowship. Also joining, we have Miss Anja Fernand and Miss Miranda, or should I say Mrs. Miranda. So we'll be hearing from the two of them a little later, but for now, we're going to hear from Miss Sharine Joseph. But before we do so, we're going to take this live with your contacts, with your friends, with your colleagues, and encourage them to join this live, watch this event, especially if they are entrepreneurs, if they are business leaders, also if they company owners, group leaders, 25 to 35 years of age, if they follow any of the above, if they meet any of the above criteria that I just mentioned, please have them to watch this live. As well as if you know of any teachers, students from any secondary school in St. Lucia that have a passion for civic engagement, community development, and also leadership, ask them to join this live. They won't want to miss it. When we come back, we're going to have Sharine, who will share with us a little bit about her YLAI experience. We're going to talk to Sharine, and we're going to talk YLAI.
What do you need to transform your career goals into reality? You need the YLAI Network.
You guys are awesome.
I'm forever grateful for being a part of this network, which has changed my life and my confidence.
What is the YLAI Network? Your connection to an abundance of resources. There are so many valuable tools, such as online courses, training videos, toolkits, discussion guides, blogs, and workbooks. That is the YLAI Network, and it's all available at ylai.state.gov.
Very proud to be a part of this.
The YLAI Network gives members the means to grow as entrepreneurs and improve their communities.
This is a call to you, young leaders of Latin America, the Caribbean, and Canada. It's your chance to develop your skills, expand your business, and network with leaders and with your peers. It's a way for you to enhance your knowledge, your economic opportunities, and your future. When you join the YLAI Network, you'll get regular updates on new initiatives, opportunities, and information created specifically for young leaders. You can engage on social media and join important discussions that affect your community. You can use all of these digital resources to expand your entrepreneurial potential and create a brighter future. By joining the YLAI Network, you gain access to all the benefits. You can expand your skills and connect with fellow leaders working to create change in their communities. The YLAI Network empowers you to achieve and succeed. Don't wait for change. Create it. To learn more about the YLAI Network and to become a member, go to ylai.state.gov.
All right, there you have it. A little bit about the YLAI Network. So with me, I have Miss Sharine Joseph, and she's joining us on the live. Hi, Sharine. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so very much for asking. Yes, I can hear you. Let me just first apologize a bit to those of you who are watching. We do have a bit of an internet issue with lagging and delay. So please do not get too frustrated with us. We have issues on both ends, but we'll do our best with the equipment and the service that we have. But we're very thankful to be here. So Sharine, you heard this bio that I read about you. And of course, some persons may not be, you may not be new to a lot of people, but just to give persons an idea as to who you are and a little bit about your background and what it is that you do now, can you share a little of that with us, aside from what I read in your bio?
Okay. So apart from what's in my bio, I also have a sister business now that I'm currently working on. So it is called Blue Media Print. So we're going to be doing a lot of branding. So aside from just social media marketing consultations, training, and all of that stuff that we've always been doing, we're going to shift in more into the branding scene and provides branding services in the form of in the form of QR codes and that kind of stuff that keeps a business really relevant and active. So it's going to be more of a tangible digital product, basically. Yeah, the Wi-Fi lagging a little bit. Can you hear me,
Awesome.
Michelle?
So this is something new that that's coming out from you, Blue Media Prince, and I like the fact that the brand name is continuing. So I want, and for persons who may not be familiar, leaders of the Americas Initiative. So I would like for you to share with our viewers a bit about your experience. Now, I know there's a lot to share, so we're going to sort of zone in or hone in on a couple of key things that we would like persons to know about. So, for example, what was the YLAI Fellowship like? What was your preparation like for the fellowship? And secondly, that you encountered in these are two things that I would like you to.
Okay, I did not hear the second question properly. You kind of broke up a little bit. I only heard the first part of it. So can you repeat the second question, please?
Were there any surprises that you encountered that you
What
did not foresee?
what surprises did I encounter? Okay, so what was my experience like and what surprises? Okay, first of all, I would say for sure the YLAI, just being part of YLAI has changed drastically. It has opened my eyes to so many possibilities that I wasn't even thinking of, and I'm so grateful for that. My preparation was kind of straightforward. We did the opening ceremony, and after that, everything was just fast tracked. We had to get our tests done. You had to get your flight. They flew us to Barbados to get our visas. That was kind of a nice, fun activity because we got to meet up with the rest of the Caribbean players. I can say that. And just get a feel of the different persons who are involved in the entire process. So that was really good. Then you had to start doing um, your budgeting because they would let you know at this point where you're going to and what amount of money you would have at your disposal, as well as who your host organization would be and stuff. So I basically did some research about where I would be. I was stationed in Boston, and when I heard Boston, I was like, that sounds boring. I wanted to go to New York. But Boston turned out to be one of the best things that ever happened. You know, so I did a lot of research prior to that, and I'm very good with my money. I was able budget accordingly. Um, what surprised me though was, um, unlike every typical person who did YLAI, I did not. I initially I got a host organization to work with, but that was short lived. I only got to work with them for about a few days, probably 3 days or something like that. And I was assigned another host organization, and I only met up with them once. And there, in terms of that, the surprise you basically was you're not guaranteed to stay with your host organization for the entire duration of the YLAI fellowship because stuff happens and then they probably have to shift you around, etc. Um, but another thing that surprised me was the fact that in Boston there's this nice entrepreneurial community, almost like St. Lucia, where we have this little network with like a whole bunch of entrepreneurs. There is that network in Boston, so they were so welcoming, and they were eager to learn about me, my business, and partner with me and work with me and stuff. So I think that these were the biggest surprises for me in that sense.
Something that I think a typical person would have considered that to be a challenge. And that is the initial host didn't turn out to be the final host that you ended up, staying with during the fellowship. Um, Now, again, we were talking about one person on her own high, and what was planned didn't go according to plan. Some persons may take that to be, oh my gosh, and may have a panic attack and say, oh my gosh, this is not what I had planned for. This is not what was outlined to me. So what do I do in this situation? This would have been a challenge to a typical person, but you in your capacity and you as a leader, you turn that challenge into an opportunity. And that is what I want to commend you on. And this is an challenge, and you turn that into an opportunity. So would you say that this was the best thing that ever happened to you? Or was it the first step to something even greater that was to come? What say you?
So I would say that was the first step to something even greater. Because what I mean, when you're in YLAI, everything is just planned out. Like, so you expect it when you travel to the US, like everything is going to go according to plan. And I think for persons coming in about to start the fellowship, and people who are actually considering the fellowship should just go into it with an open mind. Everything will not always work out according to plan, because I was speaking to my host organization for weeks before I got to the US, and I barely got to work with them. But I had in Boston, we had a very supportive team. So my peers were connecting me with their host organizations, persons from their host. So it was, and because I do marketing, it was quite easy for me to connect with other business owners who actually were either interested in upping their marketing game, or were just interested in learning a few things about what I do, etc., and how I can be an asset to them. So it was very easy for me to network and connect with a lot of businesses. I attended a lot of network events. There was this weekly event that I attended like clockwork. That was my hub, because there were persons from all different black backgrounds attending this particular event. So I made sure I was always there. Um, but the biggest thing that happened when all of this came to life was the fact that, because I was not moving around, because I didn't have a host organization, I was basically home all the time. I started getting ideas in my head. I was looking around me and seeing certain things happening. I'm like, I can implement this in St. Lucia and it would work well, because this is something that we don't have. And because we're entering more into a digital space, we have AI and we have all these different things. I can bring this into my business and make life a little easier or better for my fellow entrepreneurs. So this is something that I'm about to launch actually. It took me months for me to perfect everything, but moment for me. So what I did, I went onto Amazon, I bought a few stuff, I did my prototype, and I gathered all my pairs, and I'm like, I have this idea, I have this thing that I want to try out, and I want you guys to try it out for me and tell me what you. And everybody was like, what is it and whatever, because everybody was interested in them. Every time I say something while I was everybody wanted to know about it. So so we did the trials and everything, and everybody were like, they were like, oh my god, yes, this is a wonderful idea, we need this in the Caribbean. So I'm like, okay, I need to send a video to one of my people back home to make sure. And I was on the phone with Michelle for like how many hours telling Michelle, oh my God, I have this idea that I want to implement, etc. So I think the fact that this entire thing didn't work out in my host organization was just so great because it just made my mind think beyond the situation that I was going through. I won't lie, it wasn't all roses and stuff because I was a little depressed. All my friends were out working with their host organizations, and I was just in my apartment, chilling. But it worked out in the end.
And that to me is the bottom line. Basically, it worked out, and it worked out for your betterment, because look at where you are right now, right? But there are two individuals who are about to walk, I shouldn't say walk in your footsteps, but who are about to take the same journey that you took only a couple of months ago, which seems like, just the other day. Because for me, even though 2017 was a number of years ago, I still remember it like it was just the other day. So these two young ladies are going to be joining us now, and they're going to be sharing what their experience has been like so far in terms of getting ready to go to their fellowship, and also get to ask you a few questions, Shireen, that they have, their burning questions they need to know, so that they can be a little bit more prepared than if they had no clue of what they're walking into. So first of all, I'm going to bring on Mrs. Miranda George Arthur. I want to welcome her to the stage. And Mrs. Arthur, I have your bio here, and let me just say it is phenomenal. Okay, now, guys, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. And this is from a woman. That's what surprised me. This is coming from a woman, right? So she's an IT specialist extraordinaire. I don't think I've ever heard somebody use that title, to describe themselves. Now, she not only manages a thriving business and educational information technology firm, customer service skills. So she has years of experience in IT, plus she has experience in technical support, data entry, graphic design, and managing accounts. Now, one of her passion that she has lies in business development services, right? So whether it's analyzing or strategizing new marketing campaigns or brainstorming innovative ideas to boost your company's growth, she is thriving on helping businesses reach their full potential. Now, let me just reiterate what I said, okay, about this young lady. She has some things under her belt here, right? Digital and creative entrepreneurship and technology enabled instruction with Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, business plan, master's in Stadera. She also has weapons of mass destruction, a terrorism awareness for emergency responders, information security basics, incident analysis and response with TXA&M University, Texas, and Escuda World Certification, Customs Laws and Procedures from the University of the West Indies with NRDF. So this lady, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the founder of Techtron Nights. So Miranda, can you please tell us a little bit about what Techtron Nights is and what it is that you do? And also, secondly, I want you to share with our viewers about your application, experience with the YLAI Fellowship.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Miranda George Affa, as Mrs. Samuel said, and I am the founder of Tektronites. And we started this business in the computer repair field. So I'm a technician first, and quickly evolved into a technology hub. So today we are an information technology hub for small businesses, providing a support system, a training hub, a business hub, and a place for networking for students, for teachers, for small businesses. I also do printing of labels, printing of paraphernalia like brochures and designing of logos and so forth for small businesses. Um, One thing that I've noticed is that the things that are needed for our small business is a place that they can go to, that they can get all the things that they need and not run here and there for everything that they need. So this is what Tektronite does. Tektronite is a place for information. And the name Tektronite is technology based. We're your knight and shining armor for technology, basically. So yes, my experience of applying for YLAI, I was so lucky and blessed to have Mrs. Samuel on my team for the application. So she guided us. She guided us, those of us who applied, and having a social aspect to my business actually helped with my application, and having such a background in technology and helping youth, because we help students with their projects, with the SBAs, with editing their documents and stuff like that. So all of these things actually contributed towards my application and being selected.
Michelle, you're on mute.
Oh, okay, because I'm saying I'm not hearing.
Oh. I did a my liquor. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what Miranda shared with us was a combination of the nature of her business and what she does, in addition to the social aspect of her business. And if you notice, the combination is what gave birth to her YLAI application. And that is part and parcel of giving you a leg up in the application process. So if you have applied for YLAI in the past and you may not have been too successful, or you found the application process to be a bit challenging in the absence of getting assistance with the process, just know, go through a little step further, is of course the nature of your business, how strong your business is in the market, the need for the service provide, the quality, as well as what form of that is giving back to the community. How is it benefiting others aside from you getting a profit from your business, right? So these are a few of the things. When you put it together, it makes a perfect seasoning packet for your YLAI application. And that's what Miranda just shared with us. So Miranda, thank you so much for sharing that bit of information with us. And now I'm going to bring on our third and final guest. And Miss Anja Fernand is the founder of Food Harmony Incorporated. Yeah. And she's based in Micoud. Food Harmony is an agriculture and agro-processing company working to improve both soil health and human health, as well as contribute to positive environmental, social, and economic change in the food and agriculture industries. Anja has a Bachelor of Science in Food Science with industrial experience as a food product development technologist in the UK. She has a lifetime of experience in farming, coupled with her elected online study of regenerative agriculture since 2020. She has been able to establish 2 farms using adapted practices for the island, which stems from the principles of regenerative agriculture. She was successful in the first cohort of GGGI, Eastern Caribbean Business Plan competition, in 2021 to 2022. And welcome to our live Anja. And let me just say a big congratulations to you on that win for your GGGI cohort. I know how competitive that one is, so congratulations to you. So Anja, can you please just share a little bit more about what it is that you do at Food Harmony Incorporated? And can you also share with us what your YLAI application process was like?
Certainly, Michelle. Good afternoon, ladies. I love to see how we're all representing St. Lucia's colors. So Food Harmony is, for me, a bit of a personal history because there are growing concerns around human health. And what I've learned through regenerative agriculture is if we can rectify that in the farms, in the actual soil health, then we can provide food that is more nutritious. So what I've been doing is building up pilot farms, and as I grow, I'm going to continue to network with more and more farmers. My final objective is to really form partnerships so that we can boost the production capacity on island. Especially in COVID, we realized how important it is to have food security at home. And not just any kind of food. We want to pay closer attention as to how we produce our food so that the principles of regenerative agriculture include things like not using chemicals and minimizing disturbance of soil. So really looking at the holistic picture of how we interact with nature and how we produce our food. With YLAI, it was actually my last opportunity to apply because there is an age restriction. And I was very excited when I got through. I had a previous business, but it wasn't really set up in a way that I would provide enough evidence for the application. So I'm glad that I had started this business and I was already 2 years into my operations, which are all eligibility criteria for those listening. So the process was, for me, even when you say there's a fellowship and it's fully funded, nothing's free. You have to put some work into it. And so the application process is long, but it's not impossible. You get enough time. You can produce the application on a separate document and then copy it into the platform. So it requires you to invest your time and your effort. But when you look at what you gain through the experience, as Sharine has mentioned, there is a lot to gain, and we're looking forward to it. Miranda and myself have talked about this, and it's not only about the time in the U.S., but all of the curriculum that we go through ahead of time and networking with others. So you're more aware of what everybody's doing in the region, in the wider world. And it helps you with, generating ideas to what you can do at home. So when you're running a business or two, in my case, it takes a lot out of your time. So you do have to sacrifice personal time and social time. But then when you have these skills fortified, it is worth it. So I'm glad I've gone through the process.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that, Anja. I really want to thank you for giving us an insight into what regenerative means, especially for persons such as myself who may not be very familiar with that term and what it entails. In terms of where you are located, you said you had 2 farms in the Mikud area. Can you give us an idea as to whether these farms produce anything that that you sell for consumption, or who is it that you produce your crops for? Who's your end user?
Certainly, Michelle. So my focus is actually on tree crops. I know that there are difficulties with tree crop production in terms of cash flow. So a lot of local farmers do tend to do more cash crop production, but there's a massive market for tree crops. And when we look at some of the products on the shelves, like the juices and things, that is what inspired me to select the trees that I grow. So it's predominantly cocoa, but biodiversity is a big part of regenerative agriculture. It's another one of the principles. So what I've done is I set up a main frame of cocoa, and then I created a food forest. So you're maximized on land space by intercropping trees that grow in different ways. So for example, you can fit a sop tree between 4 cocoa trees because the sop will go straight up, but then the cocoa trying to form a canopy. And there's intention behind that setup as well, in terms of as we face more severe climate change effects, in terms of conserving your water in the soil and supporting trees without additional expense, such as irrigation. So I've set up the fields in a way that I have a continuous canopy. So it's more of a food forest. So there's 9 different types of citrus, cocoa, soursop. There's some in smaller quantities, such as cherries and fat pulp. So it's quite, there are over 20 different types of trees in the 2-acre plot. And then on the other side, I've taken learnings from the first field to improve the design. And it was previously a pineapple field monoculture, but again, I'm going in with a different design. There's going to be a lot of citrus, avocado. This one will have irrigation just to boost the production of certain tree crops because there is a pond available. There's also an established mahogany crop, and I've planted vanilla on the mahogany. So for me, it's about resilience and security. So having multiple streams of income out of the same field, so that if one crop fails, you have something to rely on. And in terms of who my end users are, for now, I do have access to mango, but it did take a few years before these trees actually started producing. Now I'm selling cocoa to hotel chocolate as well. Very small quantities, but it's a start. So the end users mostly business to consumer through Helen's Daughters Farmers Market. That has been an amazing platform, especially as a young company. It helps with marketing and accessing customers. But I also have started selling to the Trans-Caribbean, also known as Susie's varieties. They take our dried mango and they're looking at some of our frozen fruits like frozen mango, frozen guava in the future as well. We recently got our environmental health pass for the processing area. There's no fruit available at the moment, and I am stepping out of the island, but when I get back, I'm going to be approaching Massey because they have a bit stricter requirements. So it's for me, it's blossoming. So if you have a vision and a strategy, you start here and you move forward.
Nice. Very, very, very informative description that you just gave there, that you just described or found me in St. Lucia. So thank you so much for describing that, Anja. And based on what you described, you seem to be doing very, very well so far. So questioning, and of course, ask Sharine a few questions about her experience in the YLAI Fellowship. And I want to start with Miranda. Miranda, we had a brief discussion prior to this, and you had some questions getting around transportation and was like. So in terms of what you mentioned earlier, Miranda, do you still want to have those questions answered, or do you want to broaden it a bit more for Sharine? Or do you have any more specific questions that you'd like to ask in relation to weather and getting around?
Yes, I still want to ask those questions, but I think I have a more concentrated question about that, because what I've seen is that the travel time seems to look as though coming from Beaufort and going to Castries, so it's like about an hour's time. So, Shireen, what was your experience with traveling? How much time do I have to schedule ahead of time so that I could get to work on time or get to my FPO on time? Because I'm thinking of this as work and putting my head in a space where I'm getting to work. So on your I realized that you had some issues in with your FPO, but in the beginning, how much time did you have to, schedule ahead of time to get there?
Okay. It is work, so treat it like work. It's definitely work. Traveling for me wasn't a huge issue. First of all, most of my stuff was done online, which was a plus for me. But I still had to move around for certain events, etc. So I was in Boston. So in Boston, there's this train pass. So you can buy a 7 day pass or 14 day. I think it's a 7 day or monthly pass. Yes. So that's what it was. So when we got to Boston, the host, not the host organization. I forget the name of the thing, but the persons in Boston who were in charge of us, they had told us to get the weekly train pass. So it's like they give you a card and it has something like credit on it, and then you just go swipe that when you enter in the train and stuff. So we took the train a lot. For the train, it's always packed. The train does be late, that kind of thing. So you have to leave at least. I used to walk to the train station. In Boston, most of the commute was walking, because everything is like almost like within close reach, almost like you walking in Castries. But I depended on Google Maps a lot because of course I don't know the area, etc. But you leave at least an hour to half an hour before, just to be on the safe side. So when we used to have to go to Cambridge is like an hour away. So we used to leave about an hour before, just to make sure if there are delays with the train system and stuff. And this happens a lot. You have to make sure you're there on time. So my advice is to leave at least an hour in advance and stuff, just to make sure you're on time. And if you have like access to the train, our passes used to give us access to both the train and the buses. So in some instance, we used to take a train and then stop and take a bus, and then depends on where you're going to. So if you have train passes for like a month or a 7 day pass or whatever, I would advise that you get it, and you can use the public transportation. Because I will tell you from now, Ubering your way, especially depends on where you're located. Ubering and using all of these services will be costly, because I used to pay like 20 US to Uber myself to a mall that was like not even too far from me. So these things are going to cost you a lot of money. So try as much as possible to use the train system. It is cheaper. It's just that it's not that reliable.
Okay, thank you. So what month was your fellowship? Because we're actually going and in the ending of winter. So what was your experience of the weather?
Okay, so we got to, I think was in May. So we spent May, from mid-May to mid-June. In Boston, the sun was always shining, but the place was really cold. So the we used to say the weather is bipolar, because you will see the sun shining, and when you get outside, it's super cold. So I had to get extra clothing because I'm not used to that type of weather. So I had to get coats and a lot of stuff. So I ended up buying a whole bunch of stuff, because the weather was just not it for me. It was very cold, even if we were in May, June, around that time. So it all depends on where you are going to. You just do your prior research, check out the weather during the time period that you will be there, and just hold a jacket or two just in case, because you'll be surprised. You'll see sun shining X degrees, and when you get there, it's like super cold, because again, in the Caribbean, we're not used to that type of weather.
Yeah, so with me, I'm going to Washington DC, and the weather is extremely cold. So especially since it's the ending of winter, so that's something that we basically have to pack for.
Yes. So when
So
we
go
actually
ahead.
went to and in the closing at the closing ceremony, it was not cold at that time. Again, our fellowship was further back, further down. So yes, definitely get a few, cold related outfits, etc.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to pass over to Anja because I see Miss Michelle is out. So
Sure. Um, Thanks, Miranda. So, Shireen, what did you bring up with you to share a taste of St. Lucia with the program? Like, what did you take up with you? Do you have any suggestions as to how for the cultural exchange kind of thing?
So I brought in some cocoa sticks. A lot of the other persons from the Caribbean were asking for cocoa sticks. So I came with some cocoa sticks. I brought in this nice little calabash with a whole bunch of spices and stuff for one of the persons in Boston who were in charge of us. I can't remember the name that you referred to them as. I cannot remember. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I
City
gifted,
ambassador, I think it is.
yeah,
City.
something like that. So I gifted them a nice little thing with some spices and stuff, and the others got the cocoa sticks and stuff like that. So these were all I could like fit into my, because I wanted to travel really light. Or another thing, travel light. Because when you get to the US, you will see so many things that you want to buy. You will see so many things that you want. And by the end of your trip, you will be overweight. I can tell you that much. I came with one suitcase. I got back to St. Lucia with 4 suitcases. So travel light. Take only the essentials because when you get there, you will want to buy stuff. Because the things there are that some of the stuff are very reasonable and you will want to splurge. Trust me.
Wonderful. Um, my next one is with the pitch competition. What was your experience like?
Um, I don't like competitions. But it's a natural part of what we do, you understand? But the pitch competition was quite good. There were training sessions specifically for the pitch competitions, and we got a lot of feedback from persons who have been in the different industries for a while. So we got a lot of great feedback. There are coaching sessions and stuff. They basically prepare you for the pitching competition. But at the end of the day, there has to be a winner. So I mean, I didn't win, but but I did quite well. But yeah, so it's something that they prepare you for, and you. I'm not sure if you guys have already been assigned your PEP groups, so they assign you into a PEP group, and these people are basically your support system to keep you on track for your pitch competition. The people that I was paired with, they were really, really supportive. They were keeping you in check. We had weekly meetings and stuff. And even after we got to the US, we were still checking in on each other to make sure we were doing well and stuff like that. And in Boston, I had my own little network because I had my Caribbean girls there with me and they were helping out as well. So you get a lot of support in terms of preparing for that competition. I mean, it's not something where you have to pull your hair out and say, oh my God, I absolutely have to win, because at the end of the day, it's teaching you how to solve a particular problem in your business. It's not really about the competition per se, but it's teaching you how to solve the issues that you have within your business.
Yeah, and it's a good skill to have as well for the future, for all parts of your business, engaging investors, solving problems. So that's wonderful. Yeah, I'm a little apprehensive, but I'm also looking forward to it
On the
as is
bright
normal.
on the bright side, you'll get to meet with some of the investors and the angel investors and stuff, and they will give you some really great feedback on your pitches and stuff. So it's a win-win. Whether you win the actual prize or not, you're still going to gain a lot out of it.
Yeah, and I think like it's an important point to make that as entrepreneurs, we're all a work in progress and our business is a work in progress. And the more we invest in ourselves and the business, so to those watching, the more we all invest in ourselves and into our business, the better we become. And the more we can be leaders and mentors to others as well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Shireen.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ladies. I would like to briefly interject where we are going to briefly hear about a program that is also being hosted by the US Embassy in partnership with World Learning. We are going to continue our discussion, but I want to touch briefly on this particular program, and this is the Youth Ambassadors Program, Eastern Caribbean and Barbados. So the Youth Ambassadors Program aims to develop a network of young adults from across the countries in the Americas who have a strong sense of civic responsibility, a commitment to their communities, an awareness of current and global issues, and strong interpersonal leadership skills. The program aims to promote mutual understanding, respect, and collaboration between people in the US and other countries in the Western Hemisphere. The program is open to teenagers ages 15 to 18 and adult mentors and educators. No age range here, guys and ladies, okay, for this one when it comes to the adults. So what participants gain or will gain from the Youth Ambassadors Program: leadership skills, intercultural understanding, networking opportunities, professional development, global perspective, scholarship and fellowship opportunities, community service, as well as communication skills. Now, the application for the Eastern Caribbean, which includes St. Lucia, closes on the 23rd of February. Did we hear that date? The 23rd of February. So if you are interested in what I just mentioned, please leave a comment in the chat and I will ensure that you receive the details on how to apply. This is the Youth Ambassadors Program, Eastern Caribbean. Now, in terms of eligibility requirements, in terms of the youth, the students, aside from being 15 to 18 years of age, you must be a citizen and resident of a participating country after August 2024. You must demonstrate leadership potential and community involvement. You must have limited US and other international travel experience. You must have parental legal guardian permission to participate in the US travel. Now, for the adult educators, this is for you. You must also be a citizen and resident of a participating country, actively working with youth in a high school, as in for us to be a secondary school, or community group. You must also be willing to be able to meet periodically with selected students from their city or region during the 2024-2025 academic year to support and mentor their fellow on work. So participating countries, including St. Lucia, of course, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Bahamas, Dominica, Grenada, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. So just for for your benefit, this particular program and one educator each year. So it's extremely competitive. So if you would like to participate or take your hand in applying for the Youth Ambassadors Program, Eastern Caribbean and Barbados, please type into the comments or into the chat that you are interested in applying, and we will ensure that you receive the information to learn how. A little break, and when we come back, we are going to sort of wrap up our questions with Shireen, with Miranda, and with Anja. And during this time, please feel free to post or type your comments and your questions into the chat, and then we will highlight them on the screen so that they can be answered. We are going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we are going to round up our discussion and then close out for the day. We will be right back.
This program, it changes you. It changes your way of thinking. It opens your mind
it's all about youth and empowering ourselves, and it's a great cultural experience.
I did stuff that I never imagined myself doing. From the very first week in Vermont, I've learned so many lessons, which were emphasized through the activities that we did. So team building for sure stood out to me. Meeting friends, and I can call them friends now, meeting people from different islands. Although we're from the same region, I've never known the Caribbean to be such a diverse place. Something that stood out to me was the emphasis that was placed on civic engagement and community service. It's something that I'm quite passionate about. In Seattle, I worked at a food bank where I was a volunteer for a day, giving out food and grocery items to homeless people. I think one of the greatest things that we can ever do in life is give back to our communities.
As an adult mentor, the best way to interact or to act or to be involved with the youth is to be also involved in the things they do.
I never thought that I could develop a program, but then come in here and then go into Rapid City and meeting with Cobbler to Cobbler and Take Action groups, where these were young people starting their own programs and helping other young people and youths for youth. That was a surprising experience and taught me that it doesn't.
Okay, we are back. So guys, thank you so much. With my guest, Ms. Sharine Joseph, this her, or to watch the YouTube live, the replay, and you'll be able to catch up on what you missed out on. So at this time, we would just like to wrap up with our for Sharine about your upcoming YLAI Fellowship. Now, of course, we've been saying your upcoming YLAI Fellowship, but we have not yet shared as to when. When is this upcoming, experience slated for? When is it going to happen? So can you please share with our listeners and viewers when that is, and also
Can you repeat the second part, please, Michelle? The internet's a bit spotty.
oh yes, so we want to ship, and then you can wrap up with your final question to Sharine.
You want to go ahead, Miranda?
Okay, so the program is slated for March 2nd to April 11th. I don't have any other questions for Sharine at this time. At this time, I think our opening, our pre-departure orientation covered quite a lot because it was so long. So that's another thing. You have to be prepared to invest a lot of time, as Anja said, to the preparations of for this fellowship. So it's a month. It's 6 weeks long. It's 6 weeks long, and we'll be spending 1 week in Houston, Texas, for our opening ceremony, And then we'll be having our closing ceremony in Washington, D.C., which is my host city. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak here today.
Indeed, Miranda, it does grow you, but growth can be a good thing. So, Shireen, you told us earlier about your challenges when you were in Boston. I want to know what was your most memorable experience of the program?
I had so many memorable experiences. I don't even um, which one to speak about. But I will say that to me, it was the unity of the Caribbean people that were part of the fellowship. Because the fellowship, in terms of the persons who usually are part of it, you'd find there are a lot of Spanish persons, a lot of persons from these territories. So the fact that we had a group of Caribbean people who always had each other's backs, they always kept you in check. It was just a really great experience, and we networked. We got to share our different expertise with each other because now we're working on doing some partnerships, etc. I think that was one of the most memorable things for me because I feel like I have a few sisters for life. So shout out to my Jamaican girls, and I have this girl from Guyana and also Suriname. We actually got invited to her wedding, which is supposed to happen this year. So I have like friends for life. I got to network, I got to meet so many people. This made my portfolio even much better. Like literally when you tell somebody you were part of the Wildlife Fellowship, it's like you have leveled up like 10 times. You can bypass a lot of things. But it's like this elevates your portfolio, your standing in society, especially if you're going to be doing any US related programs in the future, or you want to do anything that involves the US. It's like once people hear you part of YLAI, like it's like they give you special privileges basically. So that has been a great journey. I am still going through the journey, even if it ended last year. It continues after the fellowship ends. You get a lot of support. You still get to be part of the wider groups. They share a lot of information, a lot of opportunities, etc. You get to connect with Lisa. I'm sure you guys have met Lisa. Um, you get to speak to the ambassador and talk about all of your issues and stuff you want them to improve for you as an entrepreneur in the Caribbean. So it's a lot of support and a lot of stuff. I mean, if I could do Wildlife again, I would do it again and again and again. So make the best of the opportunity. Network, that's very important, and just go out there and represent your country, represent your businesses, and have fun doing it.
Thank you, Shireen.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Great bits of advice there from Shireen. And Shireen, great job on what you're doing right now with Blue Media Prints. Guys, you heard it from her yourself. Blue Media Prints. Please check out her social media and follow. And of course, when she does her official launch, I will be sure to be blasting out that horn and blowing that trumpet loud for my girl. And congratulations again, Miranda and Anja, on your selection to represent your businesses. I want to point out that this is the first time this is happening to St. Lucians. This is actually not the case. Since 2016, we have been sending, or should I say, we have been participating in YLAI. Every year, at least two persons are selected and travel to the US for 6 weeks, with the exception of during COVID, where we had a virtual session. Persons have been traveling to the US to participate in this fellowship. Again, it is open to persons 25 to 35 years of age, and you must be in operation with your business for at least 2 years. You don't necessarily as well. Take into consideration consideration the fact that you are connecting with businesses which is in a similar nature or feel to you when you travel to the US. So this is an experience or a chance for you to share knowledge as well as gain knowledge and experience as well. And it doesn't end there, as Sharine said. When you return to St. Lucia, you come back with the expectation to share this experience. That is the challenge I typically give fellows when they leave. When you come back, so I'm putting this challenge to you, Miranda, and to you, Anja. I challenge you that when you return to St. Lucia, you're going to come back, hit the ground running, and you're going to keep this flame burning so that St. Lucians for YLAI can continue to go on year after year after year. Share the opportunity, share the experience, and above while you are there. Manage your time well, manage your funds well, because we don't want our eyes scratching us. We want to be very professional businesswomen. Yes, we may end up being in places that we've never been before, and we may see things that we have never seen before, but don't let that fool us. Let us stay focused, and let us always keep in mind that we are coming back to do something even greater. That is the motivation. And on the part of the Youth Ambassadors program, again, that program, the application ends February 23rd. Just a few days, guys. February 23rd. So if you are interested in applying, please place your hand, share the information on how to apply. Open to ages. Also, I would just like to say hi to Lisa. Lisa is actually watching live. She's not able to join us because of her device and internet issues. So Lisa, hi. And I hope that we get to see you very, very soon. For those of you who commented, Mylika, thank you so much for joining. Kat, thank you for joining the live as well. And of course, Showin, thank you for joining and for commenting. Glad to see you joining us. And for those of you who were listening and who did not chime in, we want to thank you for watching our event today. And before we leave, I would just like Miranda, Anja, and Sharine to just say one last word with our viewers. And when you do so, please share your business contact information so that persons can reach out to you in case they need to. So I'm going to start with our alumna, Ms. Sharine Joseph. Please share your contact details so that persons can get in touch with you.
Okay, so you can follow us on BLU Media Marketing. Follow our sister business Blue Media Prints, BLU Media Prints. Will be open on March 1st, so look out for that. Phone number 712-4590. You can WhatsApp, you can call, you can email us at blumediamarketing@gmail.com. You can check out our website. Everything is on our socials. So just check us out, give us a follow, and check out all of the great information we have to offer you guys.
Awesome, great. And that's for our alumna. Thank you so much, Sharine, for joining. Please don't run anywhere. We want to take a group photo before we actually go our separate ways. Next, we have Anja. Please tell people where they can find you and how they can reach you.
Thanks, Michelle. So we're on both Facebook and Instagram. It's Food Harmony Incorporated. Or you can contact me via WhatsApp in area code 1758-520-7060. Or if you'd like to call direct, again, area code 1758-721-7048. And my last comment is that, life is a journey for all of us. And if we reflect on ourselves, we will identify certain deficiencies. And for me, I recognized that the work I wanted to do required a lot more leadership skills than I had been exposed to. So I went after YLAI, and I've been successful, and I'm excited about it. But it didn't start there. It started years before, and including the GGGI experience. So what I recommend is that you start doing one thing every day, every week, every month to build up your portfolio. And then as you go and as you put in the work, you'll make connections that will continue to support and boost you, as Sharine clearly indicated from her experience. And I can attest to that for myself so far in my entrepreneurial journey. So pace yourselves, but never believe that anything is possible. Go for it, and every failure is a learning experience. So all the best to everyone. And I'm so grateful for this local group as well as the bigger YLAI community. Thanks, Michelle. And thanks, ladies.
And last but by no means least, Miranda, let people know how they can reach you, find you. Tell us.
Okay, so you can find me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Techtronights, TECHTRONKNIGHTS. You can also email me, mgalpha@techtronights.com. You can reach me on my WhatsApp or phone, 484-8418, area code 1758. My final word is look at every opportunity, everything that happens, every occurrence as an opportunity, as an experiment. Because by no means you will not succeed on the first try. So never think of anything that you do as a failure. Think of it as an experiment. Once you have that outlook, you won't give up on the things that you want. You want to give up on the things that the possibilities that there are for you out there. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so very much again, Miranda. So ladies, again, thank you for joining our live for today. You have been watching St. Lucians for YLAI 2024, our live discussion with 2023 Alumna Sharine Joseph and 2024 Fellows Anja Fernand and Miranda George Arthur. I have been your moderator and host for this afternoon, 2017 alumna Michelle Samuel. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And our next live, we're going to have an interview with a very, very, very successful young man who has made his entire fortune and fame on chocolate, of all things. So I'm excited to have him on. So please make sure to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, that is Sludtera, SLUDTERA, to find out when our next live is going to be. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining, and have a wonderful
The YLAI program is something intense, so I think that you make a lot of friendship and connections. My friends from Peru, Chile, Belize, they helped me not just in my life, but also in my professional life, in my projects, trying to work better and develop our countries together.
And we have impacted over 22 entrepreneurs, some of which are actually YLAI Network members. They have pitched at our events, they've made connections, and I'm glad to say that the program has impacted them in such a way that they're looking forward to more engagement and other events such as this.
It's a great opportunity to network as well, to share your ideas, to get feedback for your ideas as well, professional feedback as well, and to actually network with stakeholders that may help you, and you will be able to help them back as well with your businesses or organizations.
We have seen within the group a gradual culture shift from I need to succeed more towards we need to succeed. And I believe that is a direct result of some of the things that I've done differently after YLAI.
I think community is one of the greatest needs of human being. So if you master that approach, you can change lives, your life, and change your business. Go out there, find something to do, find a solution to those problems women that are in your community. You can do it, and your community needs you.
We complain about things that could be changed, but we don't realize that change has to start with us. So if you would like to know how, and you're not sure, seek me out. I will be more than happy to share that information. Or you can go to YLAI.state.gov to get more information. Join the YLAI.
The biggest takeaway for me from my YLAI experience is really the actual togetherness of the Caribbean community in the US. Coming from Jamaica, I wasn't quite expecting that. That really inspired me to actually make a change to my business, to actually also include some Caribbean products.
So we're extremely grateful to YLAI for those networking opportunities and for giving us the know-how as to how to scale our project to become sustainable.
I went to YLAI in 2017. What we focused on was markets, so the e-commerce platform, it wasn't done at that time yet. And I got amazing feedback from them also as to how we can actually improve them. The most awesome thing that I got back from them was investors that were actually interested in working with us in order to actually build and promote the company and make it actually bigger.
YLAI actually forced me to actually make a new hire, so for somebody who could manage the tasks that I would normally do while I was away on the program. So it really forced me to do something that I should have done, but I was a little scared to do. But having come back, I was also able to hire two more part-time persons, which I'm very happy about, because these were persons from my actual community. So I'm happy that I'm able to give them employment a few days a week.
I just loved the YLAI experience because that opportunity that I had to work with the nonprofit gave me that push to establish the nonprofit that I have back home.